Hello, I'm Valerie Pringle. Welcome to Balance, television for living well. How many of you are raising a family while caring for aging parents? It's tough, it's emotional, and yet it's so very important. I'll share some of my own story a little later on. But first, we'll meet Bart, who may soon separate his parents for their own good.
We're going to have to make tough decisions to maintain some kind of quality of life for both of them. Put your blanket on.
And there's Diana and her mother Rita. Rita's moving into a retirement home, a choice she made before it was made for her.
I think it's time she found another place to live.
As well, we'll meet Kathy and her mother Marie. Kathy relishes caring for Marie, who's fading away into Alzheimer's.
This is the time we have to give back for all the stuff they've given us all these years. There we go.
Parenting our parents. Can we ever pay our debts to them?
Ho, ho. Hi, how are you?
As an only child, Bart Mincenthi bears sole responsibility for the care of his parents. His father is 98 with a mind that's still sharp. His mom is 88 and struggling with the onset of dementia. Thanks to the help of paid caregivers, they're still living in their own home. Bart has written a book called Parenting Your Parents, and he is often asked to speak on the subject.
Put your blanket on. I'm spending about 25 to 30 hours a week with my parents, or doing errands for, banking, shopping, taking them to doctor's appointments, which is always kind of an intriguing exercise in immobility.
It's not so easy.
No. Patience is key. Okay, good. Because you can't be in a rush. It doesn't work that way. But I think if
Bart's fortunate. He and his partner Gail own their own business, which allows some flexibility with his schedule when it's needed.
I have a commitment to my parents. That's very important. I have a commitment to Gail. I have a commitment to our business. I have a commitment to my kids. And you try to balance those as best you can.
How difficult has it been for Bart?
He used to drop everything and just run when they called him because everything was a crisis. And I think what Bart's really learned to do over time is say, is this really needed? Do I have to run? Is anyone going to die as a result of not going? What are the consequences?
Here, hold your seatbelt, and I'll get your walker. Because I don't know how to cope some days. You know what? Some days I find I'm unplugging the phone. I just don't want to hear it ring. I used to love when the phone rang because it was new business. There was a friend. And now the cell rings and I look to see who it is.
The average person nowadays will live into old age. This is an incredibly new and exciting phenomenon.
Carolyn Rosenthal, a gerontologist at McMaster University, studies aging. She says that better public health, clean water, and nutrition are the reasons Canadians are living longer.
It's quite a wonderful triumph of modern life that we assume that we're going to grow old. Along with that, people are more likely than in the past to have a parent who lives into old age and who has some chronic health problems and requires some assistance, and sometimes a high level of assistance.
She's bright today, aren't you?
Yeah.
We're going to get some nail polish on those nails, right?
Today, Kathy Leader's mom, Marie, barely knows her. Rarely does Marie even acknowledge Murray, the man she married 13 years ago.
Is that Murray, Mom?
Whatever time we did have before Marie's Alzheimer's was wonderful. Couldn't have been better.
How brief was it before she started to get sick?
It's about 6, 7 years ago when we first noticed memory loss, that sort of thing. Here.
There wasn't a whole lot of physical care for the first couple of years because Mom did all that, you know, basically. And then I could tell there was a time where I knew she wasn't washing herself well. I could tell. So I said to Murray, it's time now we step in and start bathing her. And then we did. I'd go over a couple times a week and give her a bath, or my daughter would. And it's always worked out. And he's not one to fuss. He didn't care, you know, about things that weren't important. He never had a time where he'd say, well, I can't take Mom, she's got Alzheimer's. He didn't let anything get in his way. If he wanted to do something, he took Mom and they went, you know. So I have to take my hat off to him. Not many men would ever do that, you know, and this is with diapers and the whole bit. He managed it all.
Marie was home until last August. She fell and broke her hip and was in the hospital. Well, then I couldn't do the lifting anymore. I'd had open heart surgery myself, so she's in the nursing home now.
The big thing for me is that she's happy in her world. She's not aggressive. She's not upset. We can do anything with her. She's just all smiles and chuckles.
As a former nurse, Kathy knows her mom is in good hands. But what about Murray, who is now all alone? Later, we'll see how moving parents out of their own homes affects two families. And right after the break, we'll find out how Murray is literally soldiering on.